Hello guys, welcome back to First Half Podcast. It's good to be back again. There's a lot happening in football. We are here to discuss. My name is Dennis and I'm here with my brother.
Yeah, it's Patrick.
How you doing, guys?
Charlie, I'm not bad though.
Okay, a lot is happening in football now.
Drama.
Exciting times for Chelsea fans and Liverpool fans. First of all, congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite long overdue. I was expecting several messages since that day.
From who?
At least every morning when you wake up.
Charlie, life moves on. We'll get to Liverpool, but I want us to take it one by one. Let's come to Arsenal. This is the latest news that they just dropped out of the Champions League. What was your reaction on the whole audio?
Yeah. I mean, before I start, shout out to all my Arsenal fans out there. Yeah.
Is that genuine?
Yeah, very genuine shout out.
Okay.
Yeah. So personally, I'll tell you this. When Arsenal had to play with Real Madrid, because of what Liverpool has been through with Real Madrid for some time, I actually supported them.
You support
Arsenal.
Okay.
However,
so you are using them for vengeance?
Yeah, sort of, yeah. However, truth be told, we should know that Real Madrid is not in the best of forms as we speak.
Okay.
So I think that they actually overhyped that win.
Oh.
And they got to their head.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I think. I might be wrong. Of course, I mean, winning games with Real Madrid is actually a big deal.
Yeah.
But I just think that mentally, Arsenal is still not there.
Yeah.
You know, mentally they're not there. And maybe we might get there later on, but I also think that they are having challenges with leadership.
Number one would say that if you beat Real Madrid, who are the current champions, it gives you a momentum to the remaining games. So it wasn't so bad for them to hype it.
Yeah, it wasn't. But then I'm saying that you see, you should remain focused when your eyes on the goal. Then you should always know that even though you have won against this particular team that's on top, it shouldn't get to your head so much. But you know how it got to Arsenal's head.
Yeah.
And for me, with the PSG game, they thought they were going to have like a ride over PSG and it was going to be an easy game.
So you think they overdeflated? I don't think there were any parties or maybe probably a dressing room, showers and all those things. But I don't think they actually did too much. The fans maybe, but do you think the players were among the?
Yeah, it was a big deal for the players. Actually. Yeah, you know, and I mean with all the memes around cooking rice and they've cooked rice and all these things. I'm like, guys, Charlie, we'll relax small.
There's no vibe.
Yeah, there's no vibe. But I mean, big ups to them. They really tamed Real Madrid.
Yeah.
You know, all these things that were going on. Real Madrid is a comeback team.
Remontada.
Exactly. You know, they stopped them and all that. So I mean, so kudos, but. I think there's a lot of things to discuss about Arsenal.
Okay, so let's take it one by one. First of all, for me, I think they need to be commended. I think Arteta has come in and has actually made them competitive now. Before he came in, the team was not a team that could really compete. They were in the Premier League, they were battling somewhere the 8th, the 9th, and now, over the last 3-4 seasons, they've actually really been in the top 4.
Yeah.
So that's actually commendable. And if you take the Champions League, actually, this is their first semi-final level in 60 years, which is actually commendable. So for that, I think it's good. But what do you think of Arteta's comments after they were knocked out?
Yeah, so that has always been my problem. His demeanor when he falls.
Yeah.
You know, and that is when leadership characteristics play a good role. You know, because anytime Arsenal is facing hardship or maybe they lose a game, he comes off as too defensive.
Yeah.
You know, there should be times that you should be able to accept the fall that, you know what, we need to work hard and come back.
Go back and come again,
Go back and come again. But he's always, I don't know whether he's trying to deflect the pressure off his players by doing that. I really don't know what the agenda is, but I think that sometimes the choice of words he uses in his interviews is not the best, actually.
I think he's going for what you said, deflection. But I think just the way he does it becomes a bit of because it's like
a bit awkward.
It's like everybody knows the truth.
Yeah.
And you are trying to say the opposite. That makes you come out a bit like telling you are not okay. Because for me, not okay. Because for me, for a coach who just lost such a game, to come out and say we were the best team, not just in that game, in the whole tournament. For me, the best team is the one that wins. So if you have been knocked out, be gracious about it and say, you know what, we'll go and come back again stronger next year. But for you to say we were the best team and even to say that PSG's bench even told you.
Yeah.
I think it's a graceful. Even if they did, the graceful thing to do when you win is not to boast, but be respectful to your opponent and say, "Oh, you played a good game." But to come out and say they even told me we were better. And then the PSG coach Enrique coming out and say, no, that's not true.
And
that's embarrassing.
Very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. You see, and when you do those things, it sometimes affects your players.
Okay.
You know, because then people come at the Arsenal team, and when they come at the Arsenal team, it doesn't just affect you, the coach, it affects the players. Sometimes you watch his choice of words when he's being interviewed. I think his other problem is that he doesn't know how to handle his emotions.
Yeah. Okay.
He doesn't handle. So
you think there's an immaturity to it?
Yeah, a little bit in there, because sometimes, you know, when he's talking, you see the pain and the bitterness on his face.
Okay.
So, but then it affects his choice of words. You know. So I think he should just be calm.
Yeah.
I'm sure his expectations were very high. I'm sure this was the last straw, because they needed a trophy for the season. And I was hoping that at least they can get PSG out of the way, hit the finals, and keep their fingers crossed.
I think he did too much. I think even before the game, he did a video calling all the Arsenal fans to come together.
But I think that's fine.
No, but you know,
because it was an agenda. They knew what they were going for.
I see. Sometimes you do that and it backfires. When it goes through and you win, it turns out to be really great. But when it doesn't, you actually come out very ridiculous.
Oh no, but you know, it's a gamble. Life is a gamble.
I mean, it is. I know.
If it happens,
why put yourself in that position? Because you know, well, I mean, maybe it works for him, because if you pay attention, most of his things that he says in these kind of press conferences, most Arsenal fans actually believe in it.
But that's their team.
They believe in it. You realize that they actually believe in what the coach said, and they think that yes, that is true.
I don't fault them because as a fan, right. Anytime the coach speaks, you want to believe that he's speaking from a place of information. He knows what he's talking about and whatnot. So, and as much as you might look a bit ridiculous supporting your coach, you want to believe that what he's saying is right.
I mean, if the data is out there. We've played all these games, and it is very clear that you are not a better team in the whole competition. And then your coach is saying that at least you should be able to know that this is. I mean, read between the lines, and you'll be able to know that that's not true.
That's one I don't agree with you. When your coach was saying you were not title contenders,
we all agreed.
Why?
Because we know our team. The data is there. We know from. I don't know why we are going here, but the fact is that we all knew from where Chelsea have come from that we were not ready to compete.
Do you know at the point?
Yes.
At the point, you yourself.
Yes.
You said that the coach kept on repeating that.
Yes.
Which affected the players.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that even though most of you realize, because the time your coach was saying that, you guys were actually not where you are today. You guys were actually on top.
And every Chelsea fan said, no, we are not ready to compete.
Because your coach said that.
No.
But
I remember we had conversations here. Then you were trying to shove that down my throat, and I told them, no, Chelsea is not ready to compete. Forget about the coach, because we had data. We've seen the team play the season before, and this time it seemed like a fluke. So for me, I always knew that the bad times will come.
Well, I believe that. I mean, as a fan, Charlie, whatever your coach says, because
I see they've been here for 5 years, and he's been doing this and still doesn't show any results. So what are you believing in?
Results that Real Madrid. But whoever, did you ever think that Arsenal was called Real Madrid?
What do you call results? Winning games or trophies?
You have to win games before you win a trophy.
No, but the reality here is that we have 5 years. There's no trophy to show for it. There have been certain things that are being done by the coach, and it is not working. So this has been his demeanor in press conferences. He's always come out a bit delusional, and he has nothing to show for it. So what exactly are the fans believing in?
Delusional. No, but for me, I just think that they really wanted to do something in this Champions League. I think they didn't do bad. They didn't do bad. But my problem with Arsenal has been that they never do bad, but they never win a trophy.
Okay.
You see, so they should know what they want by now. And for me, I don't know what Arteta is going to be doing next season, which is different.
Okay.
You see, over-relying on bringing in new players and thinking that the new players are going to change the whole shape of Arsenal. It's a problem, because you and I can sit here and bad days from the players that have left to the players that have come and whatnot. And and we are still having the same thing.
Yeah.
So I keep on saying that. What is it? Because Arteta, of course, like you said in the beginning, there has been a huge improvement.
Yeah.
You know, the players are playing good football and whatnot. But you ask yourself, what is Arteta doing now that has not happened in Arsenal before? No, sometimes that's my problem because, like I'm saying, for the last 16 years, they've not been to the semis, that's fine. But Champions League football,
for Arsenal, it was basically guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
You know, so what is the problem? Because now your players that sometimes you overly rely on when it matters most.
Yeah.
For some time now, even their skipper, Odegaard, and they're not showing up. You know, so then the question becomes: is it the coach? Is it the players?
When you take Odegaard, is it not? Have they just not always overhyped him? Because if you look at it, since he's been in the Premier League, for instance, he's scored just about 33 goals.
Yeah.
You understand? So for a player that's been here for that number of seasons, and with the hype that he has, you're expecting more. This season he's played 27 games. He scored just 2 goals and 7 assists.
Yeah.
Is that good enough for a team that is going for the title?
Yeah, I have watched Odegaard a number of games. To be fair to him, I think he had an injury this season.
Yes.
Yeah, and when he came back, he has not been the same. However, I stand to be corrected. I don't know if Odegaard is hyped because he's expected or he's a goal scorer, but he's actually a playmaker.
Okay.
And when an Odegaard is in the Arsenal team, you can actually see the difference.
Okay.
You know,
but even of late, even when he's in there, there's not much to see.
Yeah, but I think since he came back from his injury, he has never been the same.
Okay.
No, he hasn't actually.
So will you attribute that to him, or will you say the recruitment has been bad? Because the statistics, what shows is that every team is supposed to register 25 players.
Yeah.
Arsenal registered 22. So the 3 slots, what was Arteta thinking? He could have gotten in another player to serve him for these important players, so that when you're not there, you still have a team that can compete.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be quick to judge Arteta on that. You know, when it comes to recruitment of players, sometimes it's a different matter.
When it comes to recruitment of players, Arteta is the problem.
How do you find out?
There is nobody in football who didn't know that Arsenal needs a top striker to compete.
But they brought Sterling instead.
Now you are really confusing me. 1 minute is like you are talking for Arsenal. 1 minute is like you are bashing them. Take a stand and stay there.
But I'm saying that for me, I really, when it comes to recruiting of players, a lot goes on behind the scenes.
Of course, definitely.
He might have made some wrong decisions. Of course, you and I sat here discussing Raheem Dems and you know, even we've always said that you want to win a league. Your top goal scorer are depending on his career habits.
Exactly.
And it's questionable.
So that's what I'm talking about, him being at fault for recruitment, because everything he signs it off.
Well.
So if for you, I mean, it's not like Kai Havertz has never played in the Premier League. He was at Chelsea, his numbers show.
Yeah, you know his
but
records.
it has to take a certain level of arrogance for you to believe that I can bring the best out of him and I'm going to risk the entire team's success on this guy.
Well, I mean, it's quite, for me, it's not as straightforward as it seems.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that there's a problem with even team chemistry in the national team.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
They seem to really be gelling of late.
Well, that's what it looks like until things fall apart. You know, because when it matters most, you know, when they played PSG, the first game, they said they had missed Thomas Partey. And Thomas
They
Partey
said no party.
No party.
Yeah.
Thomas Partey showed up in the game.
Yeah. Nothing changed.
Well,
I mean, you see, for me, I don't know what Arteta's problem is. And for me, I never stop with him. There's a coach who has spent £750 million. And he has decided or chosen to invest in his defense and midfield.
Yeah.
And actually left out the most important part, who is going to put in the goals. Last summer, he had a chance to bring in a top striker. He didn't. He said, I'm sticking with Kai Havertz. In January, he had another chance to bring in another striker. He didn't.
Yeah.
Right now, he has an injury. Now, you are 5.5 years down the line on your project, which for me the project is over. Because the project was supposed to be a 5-year project. Now your sporting director has left you. Edu is gone. Most of your players are at risk because I know that Real Madrid are talking about trying to tempt Saliba. They are trying to gauge to see how the contract talks goes, and they'll see whether they can swoop in for him. So if Saliba goes and it starts falling apart, it's over. Now I've heard people say give him another season with a striker to see what he does. But what people are forgetting is that all the other teams are strengthening. The Premier League is unforgiving. The more time you are in there,
the more people are developing.
And teams are learning how you play. When teams find out how you play, it becomes more difficult for you. So I don't know why people think that it's as easy as continuing. Because if you look at the points that they accrued last season when they pushed City to the wire, this season they are actually on this recording far lower than what they did. So which means that the team has dropped form. So what shows that next season they can up and go. And from per experience from City, well, for them they won a lot. When you go for that long and you don't win anything or you didn't win something, the mentality starts coming down because at some point you've done the same thing so many times.
So
that
what you are trying to say is they should let Arteta go.
For me, as a Chelsea fan, I'd rather he's there so that they mess up again and then probably that helps us come up. But for after 5 years and what he's done, if in my opinion, I think that he's done enough and they should bring somebody to take them over the line. He's not shown anything that shows that he can take them over the line.
So let me ask this question.
Yeah.
If Arteta should leave,
yes,
and a new coach should come,
mm-hmm.
Are you thinking that the new coach is going to be able to use the current materials that they have at Arsenal? Or
Arsenal has a fantastic squad.
Okay.
Defensively, midfield, they have a very good squad.
Okay.
They just need a few pieces in front to be able. I mean, look at the goalkeeper. Currently one of the best in Europe. Yeah. The defense, Saliba and Gabriel.
Solid pair.
You brought in Calafiori,
yeah,
who is also really good. You have the Rice party. They are trying to renew his contract. I know that this guy is going to go. Jorginho is going. Mm-hmm. Now you are bringing in. I just saw. I think this morning that Zubimendi, they are looking at paying the clause so that he also counts in.
Okay.
Zubimendi, I know he counts with certain distance for Liverpool fan, but he decided to come to Arsenal. And if he's able to bring these players in there with Goycrest, who is in Sporting, that apparently he has given the green light that he wants to come to Arsenal. If he doesn't win with this team, he's just not good enough.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So exactly my point. So
yes.
then, if a new coach comes,
yes,
then he still will need to beef up the team a bit for him to get.
He'll bring new ideas.
Yeah, but why don't we keep Arteta for him to get all these players we talk of so that he can?
But it's not guaranteed. He's not proving that he can win anything. If you brought in a winner who is a coach with a mentality to win, actually maybe Arteta may win one trophy or so, if it's not being guaranteed. But a proven winner may come in and with this team dominate.
Well, I mean, Arsenal's story is quite problematic because I really don't know. For me personally, if you ask me, I think Arteta should go.
Okay.
Yeah, if you ask me, I think Arteta should go. Like you rightly said, Arsenal doesn't have a bad squad
at all.
You know, sometimes the team will only show up when they have a leader with a different mentality.
True.
And we take that for granted. It's actually a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, so there are players that before you realize under a certain coach they are performing and we're wondering why.
Yeah.
I don't think Arteta is cut for what Arsenal really wants as we speak.
I chanced on this video where he was in the dressing room and he sticked on the light bulb. These are players who have been through school, and I'm telling them that Thomas Edison invented a light bulb, and if it connects to power, it will light. Like, how is this inspiring? Most of the players were giggling in the background.
Yeah, but you should have seen the official expression.
Yeah.
So they had a straight look on, but they're like, okay,
what the hell is going on here? Because you see, what a Mourinho or a Pep will say in a room makes you want to run through walls for them. If you're talking to me about Edison and light bulbs and whatever, that's not going to do nothing for me on the field.
That's true.
I want to see connection. Yeah. Like this Bob and I mean, come on.
You know, the last time we even discussed about how soft coaches have become now.
Yeah.
Because like you're saying, you wouldn't have Fergie, Mourinho, you're like, when they come to the field,
it sounded so basic.
look, we are pulling the board and drawing something.
Exactly.
Look, when you go out this time around, do this, do that, do this.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, I heard Mikel Obi on his podcast say that when they were going to have a big match,
Yeah.
Mourinho will go in the press conference, say things to unravel the other coach, and when he comes to the dressing room, he will tell you that I've done my part.
Yeah.
I played with his mind. He doesn't know what he's going to do now. You go on there, and so it makes it look like you are going to war.
Yeah.
Light bulbs and candles. I don't know what that's supposed to do.
Arsenal, there some way.
So for you, if Arsenal maintain the second spot in the Premier League, how do you rate their season?
Not different from the other seasons.
Is it a failure for you?
Well, I think the word failure.
Okay, let me say if we are rating it poor, average, good, best.
Average.
Average.
Yeah, I'll give Arsenal average.
Okay.
I'll give them average because my expectation of them is very high.
Okay.
And I think that in as much as they gave us a good run for our money, which is Liverpool.
Why would you say that? At what point did they give you a good run for your money?
Oh, I mean, they
were never close.
No, I mean, if there was any other team.
Yes, we are trying to be gracious. They were never close.
Oh no, what are you talking about?
Why were they giving
If there was any
money?
team in the EPL that Liverpool was watching to make sure they don't get close, was Arsenal.
Were they ever close?
Yeah, at a certain point they were getting.
When were they ever close? What was the gap?
And so in the EPL run, who were we trying to run away from? In the top four,
For me, this season, you were your own standard, basically making sure that you don't drop below the standard. But no team pushed you. You see, what for me is a poor season for Arsenal because this is a season where everybody said they were, even if City were at their best, Arsenal was going to win. And for some reason, City fell off.
Okay.
This was supposed to be a walk in the park for Arsenal. And they fumbled it.
Why walk in the park?
Because nobody actually rated Liverpool because you were bringing in a new coach. Chelsea was bringing in a new coach. United was bringing in a new coach or whatever.
Before the season began, nobody had written off Man City.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That they were saying that even if City was, because Arsenal pushed them to the last day. So everybody was thinking that this season, with City winning 4 in a row, there's going to be fatigue, there's going to be whatever. So they may not be the City we know, not how bad they fell, but people thought they would not be as sharp.
Okay.
And it turns out that they were even worse. But Arsenal couldn't take advantage of it. And that is why I would say it's a very poor season.
Yeah, but and there was nothing different. There was the same old Arsenal. I'm telling you, because Arsenal plays a beautiful game.
Yeah.
They will play and play and play, and nothing comes out of it.
Yeah.
So sometimes when we speak about Arsenal, people think we're going too hard at them. But you see, when you take off your fan cap and give it a critical look, it's like you are playing football, you are playing beautiful football, but at the end of the day, you take nothing home.
Yeah.
So they keep on talking about the winning mentality, and I'm beginning to believe it.
Okay.
Because it's like, we are playing football and nothing comes out of it. Then at the end of the day, we praise ourselves again. We come back, we lose, we don't get a trophy. We praise ourselves, we lose, come back.
Netflix. Okay, guys. So that's our thoughts on Arsenal. Join in the comment section. Let us know what you have to say about Arsenal falling out of the EPL. What do you rate their season to be? Do you think it was actually good? Do you think it was poor? Do you think it's average? Let us know what your thoughts are. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our page. See you again soon.
Cheers.